Hi, this is Mike from Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and today we're going to unbox a case which is possibly the best bargain in the UK right now. Keep watching to find out more. Okay, so today's video we're going to unbox this case and have a quick look. Now this is a case I picked up on eBay via a link from Hot UK Deals, which I'll put some links in the description below so you can check out for yourself. That's if it hasn't sold out or expired. But this case is slightly insane. It has 5 RGB fans, it's a mid-tower case, tempered glass on 2 sides, and it cost me less than 30 UK pounds. Yeah, 30 UK pounds. But is it going to be any good? Let's take it out of the box and find out. Well, it's looking good so far. This thing is heavy. Well, it's definitely very well packaged. Okay, so let's give you a quick spin round of this thing. So, there's the front of the case. So on the front we've got mounting options for, looks like a couple of 5 1/4 drives, which is quite a rarity these days. We've got a full mesh front, and behind this mesh front there are 2 RGB fans already, that's 120mm. And these are going to be controlled by the fan controller on the top and an RGB controller by the looks of things. So on this side we have got a tempered glass side panel in quite a nice dark smoke tint, which is probably quite a nice contrast from the white surround. Actually, it's like a matte white finish, which looks pretty awesome. Now, on the back of the PC, you can see you've got your normal mounting options. So you've got 120mm fan holes on there. You've got this nice hexagonal mesh, which I'm really keen on. I'm not so keen on the round mesh or the smaller holes. For me, you get much better airflow with this hexagonal type design. So you've got your I/O cutout. You've got individual I/O shields, which again is really awesome. And let's just have a look at this. So this is an acrylic tint. Now I'm going to take this side panel off to hopefully stop the reflections. Now it's held in place with 6 thumb screws, which to some may seem like a lot, but actually it's probably a good idea to stop any vibrations because it is quite a deep case. So because there's an additional mounting point there, hopefully that's going to reduce any vibrations if there's any mechanical drives in here or optical drives. Now there's nothing actually holding this glass panel in place at the bottom. So when you do undo the screws, it looks like you're going to have to be a little bit careful so it doesn't drop. So the only thing holding that in place at the moment is purely the sticky stuff. Okay, so there is the smoke panel. I'll leave the protective coating on there for now. I will be doing a full build in this at a later date. This is just going to be an unboxing and go through, see what the features are like and see what you think of it. And actually I thought because it's such a good deal, it's a good idea to get the unboxing out of the way, post some links up, so hopefully if you're interested then you can grab one of these for yourself. So let's take a look what we've got inside. So we've got a USB 3 header, we've got audio header, got another USB header, another USB header, got all of our I/O. Now there's actually rubber grommets around all of this I/O stuff, so it's going to be nice and easy to manage the cabling. The pre-installed fans actually do look pretty darn good. Now we're going to have a look on the back in a minute because there is a RGB kind of fan controller on the back. So I'm interested to see whether or not the RGB implementation can actually be connected to an RGB enabled motherboard to give you full control, or whether you've just got to use the controls on the top of the case. You've got 3 mounting options there for SSDs or 2.5-inch drives. They are unfortunately held in with captive screws, not thumb screws, but I guess that's not the end of the world. Now this little baggie here, we have got a cleaning cloth, more mounting screws, more mounting pillars and a few cable ties. It's quite nice to see a little cleaning cloth come included. That'll be very handy, being there's 2 lots of tempered glass on this thing. So in the basement area you've got a filtered 120mm intake fan. So if you decide to mount the fan downward or upward, you can have really good ventilation. There's nothing covering this top area. So again, if you have the power supply mounted with the fan facing up, it's going to be fine. So either way, if you've got a particularly nice power supply and you want to show off the sides of it, then we're all good. So let's take the back panel off and take a look and see what we've got on the back. Now again, I will reiterate, this case was £29.99, including postage in the UK, which seems like an insane price. This is very similar actually in specification and probably build quality to the Inwin 101C. I've got a sneaking suspicion that this chassis is actually made by a third party, which could actually be Inwin. I'm not unsure. I have had a look briefly to see if I can see who is the original manufacturer of this. It's got the StormForce branding on there, but then StormForce do kind of get cases from other manufacturers and put their branding on it. So again, 2 sheets of tempered glass, and it's pretty thick stuff as well. So in this back area, we've got 2 options for mounting 3.5-inch drives in there. You could also put in another 2 2.5-inch drives, if one or the other. All the cables are nicely coloured in black, so there's no kind of ketchup and mustard going to be going on. Obviously that depends on your power supply if you're going to keep that theme going or not. This is actually going to be spaghetti junction for the cabling, but I suppose you've got 5 fans in there already, plus 2 RGB strips at the front, so it is going to be a bit of a challenge to get all this to look nice. So to power the actual RGB, unfortunately we've got a Molex connector, but that's not the end of the world. We can always get an adapter and convert that from Molex into SATA. Not a massive problem. This is definitely going to be slightly challenging to work out whether or not it'll work with RGB motherboards, so maybe we'll come to that in a later video. But realistically, you've got all the control you could want on there. So you've got loads of mounting options. So you've got 5.25-inch bays for CD drives if you wish. There's blanking plates in there, so you don't have to put any 5.25s in. 2 options for 3.5-inch drives. Another 3 options on the other side of that for 2.5-inch drives. Again, you could use 2.5-inch drives on there, so 5 2.5-inch drives or 3 2.5-inch drives and 2 3.5-inch drives. Oh, and there's another one there, so another mounting option for another SSD. Wow, this thing has actually got a lot of potential. Now my only concern is trying to get the wiring to look nice enough to warrant having the glass panel on this side. That is going to be a challenge, because if you've got a glass panel, ideally you want it to look nice. Now they are quite a dark smoke to the panels anyway, so it's not going to show up every flaw or limitation. Maybe in some instances it would have been nice to have the inside of this side in black, just to kind of hide any discrepancies. But all in all, I think this is actually an amazing case for the money. Time will tell whether or not the fans are of a good quality. I can't see that there's any obvious manufacturer's logos or details on them. Again, it's got the StormForce branding on there, so we're not sure. But this does look a lot like an Inwin case. So let's go back to the inside area, and I'm not sure if you can make that out very well in there. But actually, again, you've got mounting areas on the front here. There are options for 2 fans. I would imagine you could probably get a radiator in there. I'm not too sure if we can take this front panel off or not. Let's see, looks like it may well come off, so let's give it a try. Okay, so with a little bit of work, the front panel does come off, and you can see there is the wiring which takes the RGB signal to the strips which are down the side. You've got both fans mounted there on the front of the chassis rather than behind. You've got a really nice mesh there. Again, it's this hexagonal mesh. I really do like the hexagonal mesh, it's a great idea. Now it looks like the LEDs in there are all 50/50 RGB, so possibly with a little bit of tinkering we could maybe get this to work with a normal RGB controller, but again, like I said, we'll find out. So radiator mounting on the front would be slightly challenging. You could maybe get the radiator to stick on the back area, keeping the fans on the front, or conversely put the radiator on the back side and then have the fans on the back of their drawing area. Again, maybe we'll have a play around with that and see what options are available. But realistically, for £30, this is a smashing case. Just the fact that it's got 5 RGB fans in there. What would 5 RGB fans cost you? Let's say, for argument's sake, a minimum of £5 each. So that's £25 taken away right away. Tempered glass side panels aren't cheap. So for £30, this is a phenomenal value. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go and get a power supply and stick it in just so we can see the RGB LEDs light up. So I'll leave that for you for some B-roll for the end. But in the meantime, I've been Mike. This is Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and this has potentially been the best case I've ever seen for £30. Thanks for watching.